Hi, welcome back. Today we're going to do an Afrikaans lesson on Meervoude. Meervoude is the Afrikaans word for the word plural. The word meer means more, so Meervoude means plurals. If you've forgotten what a plural is, don't worry, I'm going to remind you. A plural is when we have more than one thing. For instance, we can have one girl, and if we make it a plural, we have two girls. So just like in English when we add an S on the end to make girl, girls, we add certain letters onto words in Afrikaans to make them plural, to make them Meervoude. In Afrikaans, we have a few rules that help us to know when to add on letters and when to take away letters when we're doing plurals. I've written a few rules for you. It's not all the rules, but it's some helpful ones, and if you learn them, they might help you when you get to grade 4 or 5 or even into high school. So these are a few rules that will really help you with Meervoude. The first rule that we're going to look at is adding an S when we're talking about people or family members. So the example that I've given you is seun, the word for boy. If we want to talk about more than one boy, boys, we add an S on and we say seuns. The next one we're going to do is if the word has two vowels that are different, then you add an E on the end. So, if we've forgotten what vowels are, they are the letters A, E, I, O, and U. So if you're looking at a word that has two vowels that are different, and you want to make it a plural, you add on an E at the end, like the word deer. Deer is the word for animals. It has an I and an E. There are two vowels, but they are different, so we can add an E on the end to make it diere, meaning animals. The next rule we're going to learn about is if the word ends with two consonant letters, then you add an E on the end. Like vark. Vark has two consonant letters. If we've forgotten what consonant letters are, don't worry, I'm going to remind you. A consonant letter is all the letters in the alphabet that are not a vowel. So remember, there are vowels, A, E, I, O, and U, and all the other letters that are inside of the alphabet, they are consonants. So the word vark, the word for pig in Afrikaans, ends with an R and a K. Neither of those letters are vowels, so they must be consonants. We can add an E on the end to make it varke, pigs. The next rule we're going to learn about is if we have a word that ends in a consonant letter followed by the letter M. Like in the word Adam. Adam ends in an R and then it's followed by an M. If we have a word like that, we just add on an S on the end. The next rule, if the word has a double vowel, we kick one vowel out and we add an E on the end. Like in boom. We drop one O, we kick them out, and then we add an E on the end. And our last rule that we're going to learn today is words that end with a K. Words that end with a K get a double K and an E on the end, like suck. Suck is the word for bag. If we put a K and an E on the end, we get sucker. Alright, let's try put some of these rules that we've learned into practice. If you'd like to try this activity by yourself and then check your answers, you can pause the video now, write your answers down, and then come back and check how we did the activity. If you want to do the activity with me, then that's perfect. So the first word that we're going to try, make a plural, try and make a Meervoude, is neus. Neus has two vowels that are different inside of it. So we know from rule number 2 that we can add an E on the end to make it noses. We keep our word the same. And we add on an E at the end, like the rule tells us to. And it becomes neuse for noses. The next one is mond. Mond is the Afrikaans word for mouth. Mond ends with two consonant letters. Remember, they're not vowels, it ends in an N and a D. So our rule tells us that when a word ends with two consonant letters, we can add an E on the end. And our word becomes monda for mouths. The next word that we have is arm for arm. Looks like the spelling is the same like in English. We are going to use rule number 4. When the word ends in a consonant letter followed by the letter M, then we just add an S. Easy peasy. And it becomes arms. I'm using my green pen to show you the letter that I've added on. The next word we have is foot for foot. It also has 2 vowels that are different inside. And we know when a word has 2 different vowels that are next to each other, we add on an E. So our word becomes footer for feet. The next word we're going to use is Ian. Ian has a double vowel and they're the same. So remember when we have a double vowel, we kick one out and we add an E on the end. So we're going to kick him out and our word becomes Iana. Don't forget to add an E on the end. Toon is the Afrikaans word for toe. It also has a double vowel. What do we do when we have a double vowel? We kick one out and we add an E on the end. Our word becomes toena for toes. And our last word is knack for neck. Our word knack ends in a K. Our rule says that words ending in a K get a double K and an E. So our word becomes knacker. Alright, and that's all the Meervoude we're going to do today. I hope this lesson helps you and don't forget to practice some vocabulary.